So you're here because you're looking for a smarter way, right? A way to really build wealth and design a life with genuine freedom.
Yeah, you want the real insights, the stuff you can actually use,
Yeah.
not just theory.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing today. We're taking a deep dive into these core ideas about building wealth, lasting wealth, and, living that truly, let's say, luxurious life.
We've got some powerful concepts lined out, the kind of foundational thinking and strategies that, well, they really separate those who just manage from those who build real financial independence.
Our mission really is to unpack all of that and make it super clear, super actionable for you.
Hmm.
Think of us as your guides through this whole landscape of wealth creation. We'll help pinpoint what actually matters.
Okay.
So let's kick things off with this. When you picture being wealthy, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
That's a great starting point because often that image, it's focused on, the external stuff.
Right, the big house, the fancy car.
Exactly. But what we're digging into today is, well, it's a much deeper idea of wealth. It really goes beyond just the possessions.
Okay, let's unpack that fundamental idea then. Real wealth, as we're looking at it, isn't just about the stuff you own.
No.
It's really about the freedom that stuff, or rather the money, buys you. Freedom of your time, first and foremost.
That's huge. Being able to choose how you spend your hours.
Absolutely. And freedom of location, deciding where you want to live or work. And the freedom to make choices that actually align with your values, not just what pays the bills right now.
That's the crucial shift, isn't it? Moving from that constant grind, trading time for money,
Yeah.
to a place where your money is actively working for you, generating income, providing that security. It's a totally different relationship with your finances.
And this is where the mindset thing really comes in, because think about the core differences. How someone building wealth approaches things versus maybe the average person.
It often boils down to this idea of ownership, right?
Ownership, exactly. Wealthy individuals, they tend to focus on acquiring and controlling assets, things that produce income over the long haul.
Whereas the more, let's say, conventional path often revolves around employment, a steady job, trading your time and skills for that paycheck.
Which is fine, but it's different. And often coupled with maybe a stronger focus on immediate consumption, buying things now.
Right. And that can sometimes, though, you're realizing it, slow down or even stop that long-term wealth building.
Right.
That short-term focus can be a real obstacle.
It just hammers home the point that the very first step, before any tactics or strategies, is getting your mindset right, tuning into it, and maybe upgrading it.
It's the foundation. Absolutely. If your basic way of thinking about money and what it represents doesn't change.
Then the strategies might not stick, right? Or they won't have the impact you hope for.
Precisely. So these contrasts, ownership versus a job, assets versus just spending, long-term versus short-term, they really highlight that fundamental difference. It's not just about bigger numbers in an account.
Yeah.
It's a whole different way of seeing the world and your financial potential in it.
All right, so we've established that foundation, what real wealth is, the importance of mindset. Now let's get into the practical side. How do wealthy people actually generate that wealth?
Well, there's this really interesting statistic you hear a lot.
The 7 income streams one.
Yeah, that the average millionaire often has at least 7 different streams of income. 7.
Which sounds like, wow, a lot to manage, but let's break down what those typically look like. It's not as crazy as it sounds initially.
No, and the key isn't the magic number 7 necessarily, it's the principle behind it. Diversification.
Good point. Not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Relying on just one income source makes you quite vulnerable, financially speaking. So these streams could include, first, your earned income. That's usually your main job or your primary business revenue.
Then you've got profit income. This is from buying and selling things, products, maybe even whole businesses, and making a margin.
Right. Then there's interest income. Savings accounts, bonds, maybe lending money out. Dividend income is another big one. The payouts you get from owning stocks in companies that share their profits.
And, of course, rental income, which most people connect with real estate. Owning properties that tenants pay you for.
Then capital gains.
Yeah.
This is when an asset you own increases in value.
Like the stock example. Buy at $100, sell later at $150, that $50 difference is your capital gain.
Exactly. Asset appreciation. And finally, number 7, often something like royalty or passive income.
Like from intellectual property. Books, music, software. Stuff that keeps earning after you create it.
Precisely. things that can generate income without your constant active involvement.
And if we tie this back to that core idea, making your money work for you,
Yeah,
having multiple streams, especially those passive ones, really embodies that principle, doesn't it?
it really does. Each stream is like another little engine generating wealth, reducing how much you have to rely on just trading your hours for dollars.
And the really important thing here, I think, is that you don't need to suddenly magic up 7 streams overnight.
Oh, definitely not. That would be overwhelming.
The smart strategy is usually focus on building one solid income stream first, maybe from a skill, maybe your job,
Get that foundation strong.
right? And then strategically start layering in others over time, like building a portfolio of income sources, not trying to do everything at once.
Exactly. And that long-term focus, it really should be on developing those passive and scalable streams.
Because your earned income, your job income, is usually capped by time, right? How many hours you can work.
But passive income, that has the potential to grow more exponentially, generating wealth more automatically over time.
Okay, so this idea of building multiple streams, especially passive ones, can sound great, but what if you're starting from, well, basically nothing, no big pile of cash to invest?
That's a super common feeling, isn't it? That you need money to make money.
Yeah, it takes money to make money trap,
Oh,
but the material we looked at pushes back on that.
it does. It challenges that idea head on. The core insight, if you're starting from scratch, is that your strategy is your first and most important asset.
Strategy over starting capital.
Initially, yes. It's about being resourceful, making smart moves, even when you don't have a lot to invest right away.
That smart strategy often starts with developing what people call high-income skills.
Skills that are really in demand.
Things like copywriting, writing persuasively, graphic design, video editing, sales is a huge one.
Or freelancing in some specialized area where you have expertise.
Right. And the beauty of these skills is they let you generate income relatively quickly, often without needing a huge upfront investment.
And that initial income, that becomes the fuel. It's the seed money for everything else.
The outline gives a pretty clear path here. First,
Oh.
use that income strategically to knock out any bad debt, high-interest stuff that's dragging you down.
Get rid of that anchor first. Makes sense.
Step 2, build up some savings. An emergency fund, firstly, for that safety net. And then build savings beyond that, which becomes your initial capital for step 3.
Which is?
Investing, starting to strategically put that money into assets, things that can grow and generate more income, tying back to those multiple streams we talked about.
And woven through all of this is that sometimes difficult principle of delayed gratification.
Ah, yes. Resisting the shiny objects early on.
Exactly. Resisting that urge to immediately upgrade your lifestyle the second your income goes up.
That discipline, prioritizing getting out of debt, saving, investing in those early stages.
It's absolutely fundamental for building that long-term wealth.
Yeah.
Skipping that step is where many people stumble.
Okay, so mindset, check. Diverse income streams, check. How to start from scratch. Check. Now, let's shift gears slightly to something that really pours fuel on the fire. Automation and systems.
This is key. Because it's not just about working harder and harder, is it?
No, it's about working smarter. Building systems that do the heavy lifting for you.
That's the leap, really. Moving beyond relying just on your own direct effort. The wealthy understand that to truly scale things up and, importantly, free up their time.
Yeah, time freedom again.
Yeah.
You need to create these mechanisms, these systems that generate income with less and less of your direct hour-by-hour involvement.
And the sources give some good concrete examples, like using software to automate an online store, handling orders, inventory, that kind of thing.
Right, so you're not manually processing every single transaction. Or think about investing in broad index funds.
The ultimate passive growth tool for many.
Pretty much. They grow over time, generally, without you needing to constantly research and pick individual stocks. The system does the work.
Another great example they used was creating digital products, ebooks, online courses.
Yep, create it once, sell it many times.
Exactly. They can be sold 24/7, generating income while you're asleep or on vacation or working on your next project. Classic, scalable, automated income.
The goal, and I love how they put it, is to wake up to income, not alarms. That's a great line. It perfectly captures the idea of building these reliable systems that just work, consistently generating revenue, giving you back control over your time and your life.
And this idea of control and designing your life leads really well into the next topic, lifestyle design.
Right, and specifically luxury without debt, which kind of flips the script on what most people think luxury is.
It really does. It challenges that conventional view of luxury as just, flashy things to impress people. showing off.